We're at Jack's place. My special guest today is my dear friend, Marty Rose.
Pleasure to be here. I got here a little bit earlier to talk about my boring life with Jackson, and Anita cooked us lunch.
A nice marinara.
A marinara, and with the bruschetta. Thank you, Anita. It was lovely.
You've had a fantastic career in music. So let's tell all these wonderful people about the musical life of Marty Rose. Where did you start?
I heard an Elvis Presley song. Bing, my ears pricked. And then a couple of years later, this band called The Beatles came out. That was it. I was hooked. I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to play the guitar. And it was on. My dear friend Ken, he regrets to this day that he taught me how to play the piano. And he could play the guitar, whatever he wanted to. And I heard him playing Let It Be one day. I said, "Oh, Ken, please show me. Bang, first time I played the piano, and I did Let It Be. And I thought, this is great. This is all I need to know. So I went to Voila Richard, brilliant teacher, because she was teaching Farnham back in days.
She was teaching Farnham, indeed,
so
yes.
She got a lot of business out of John. And hello, Voila, I love you.
Through Viola, you ended up doing some stints on Young Talent?
Oh, this is before I started playing piano. So she asked me, and of course I said yes. And, so they organised. I think I was on the fourth show ever made. It was 1971, this was. Greeted by Jamie Redfern. And we became good friends, and he showed me around the studio and showed me how this worked, how that worked, and I went on and I sang Boom Shalala.
The Hans Paulson song.
Boom Shalala. Yeah. And once again, they wouldn't let me play the guitar.
I think they were trying to work out a way of getting you on the team.
Jane Scarley, many, many years later, told me that the reason they invited me back on the shows, they wanted to check me out again, because they were going to ask me to join the team.
You really got onto your first management fairly quickly with Dwayne Zigliotto.
Dwayne Zigliotto, after I did Young Talent Time, I spent all up about 5 years with Dwayne, and I tell you what, he taught me a lot. We did this floor show at the Werribee Town Hall, and there was like about 1,500 Italian mamas and daddies and all their daughters and sons and all that, and it was just wonderful. And I was the floor show. We got to the gig, and the band, who I had chord charts of all my songs, and they couldn't read the charts. So Dwayne says, "Oh, I'll ring the boys," and I knew Dominic. But I didn't know that he had this band called Select, which was the original Select. And there was Dominic Tenuta, who's passed away, unfortunately, too young. Paul Spano, Tony Romano on bass, Paul Spano on guitar, Tony Romano on bass, and a guy called Fuzz on drums. Oh, no, it was another guy. He used to wear the hat, cap. Chirino. No, it wasn't you. So they rocked up, and I fell in love with them instantly, because they were pretty cool guys, and they were like 19, 20 years old, so they were pretty groovy guys, and they were a great band, I thought, wow. So anyway, I said to Dwayne, "That's it, I want to join that band. Because I want to play the guitar and I want to play the piano."
Let's talk about your Mushroom record contract. Did that follow that era there?
When Select, we were getting to the stage where I was starting to we were progressing as musicians, as a band, and I thought, I really like what we're doing. So I started writing songs. So I bought a Fender Rhodes, and that's when I wrote my first song, Memories of You. I just loved the way the piano sounded and the chord progression.
Something happened to my life, something I just can't describe.
So I started writing, and I wrote about 3 or 4 songs within a week, and I played it to Frank Romano, who was Tony's brother in the band. And anyway, so I played it to him. He goes, "That's fantastic." He goes, "Why don't we record it?" So I said, "Yeah, we're going to record it." So we went into the studio, and at this stage, Greg Cook, I forgot to mention, Greg Cook was in the band for a little while. Brilliant guitar player. Greg Cook was in the mixtures. And so he produced it, he played on it. We recorded 3 songs. It was Memories of You, a song called Get Back, and a song called Pretty Woman. And so what happened was we did the demos. They were really demos. They were just demos. And Frank goes, "Oh, I'll take him to Michael Gudinski.
So what connection did Frank have with Michael?
Well,
did he work for him?
Frank was in a band called Cloud 9.
Oh, right. Okay.
He played drums
with
in
Ken.
Cloud with Ken, and so he knew Molly. He knew a lot of people. He knew Michael Gudinski, and so he rang Michael, said, I want to come and play you some stuff. And half an hour later, Frank comes out, gets in the car, shakes my hand, and says, "You got a recording contract."
Oh.
And without even seeing me, he liked what he heard. And Frank goes, "He said you sound like Billy Joel." And I said, "Who?" And 3 months later, Piano Man comes on the radio, and all my friends who knew I had a recording contract thought it was me. And to this day, when I hear his voice, we do have similar kind of voices. So that was fantastic. I thought all my dreams would come true. Then in March of '77, we released Memories of You. And I remember that I had a huge fear of flying. And I remember him telling me that on the release date, we're going to do an interview in Melbourne, 3XY, and then we go to Sydney and we go to Brisbane. Oh, I'm going all in one day. And we get to Sydney and we go into the studio. It was equivalent to what 3XY was. And puts my record on, listens for 10 seconds, I can't remember the guy's name. He puts his record on, listens for 10 seconds, and he looks at us and goes, "Do you want to hear a great song?" Okay. So there he puts the record on, and it goes like this: "You're a rich girl, and you're going too far." And anyway, never heard that song before. I heard 10 seconds of it, and I realised we got no hope. No, we got no hope. That's a hit song, you know. No, it was Hall & Oates.
You were doing some countdown shows as well. Was that around the same time?
Yeah, then a couple of weeks later I went on Countdown. I did Countdown twice, actually. But the second time I went on, I was kind of more known because the song got played on the radio. And I heard Terry talking on the phone to the Old Melbourne, someone at the Old Melbourne. They needed a piano player. So I heard the conversation. When Terry got off the phone, I said, "Oh, Terry, I just heard the conversation." He goes, I can play piano and sing, because I heard the gig was from 6 till 8. And I thought, I love early gigs. So I went there, and I did some Billy Joel, Elton John, Beatles stuff, just on piano. Like, the crowd just loved it.
They would have loved that.
And they invited me back 5 nights a week. I'd go to these gigs and I'd be playing some song, and they'd all be dancing, and I couldn't hear myself because of all the banging on the floor and the noise. And I thought, I'll make my own backing tracks. So I got on the drums, played the bass, played the guitar, mixed it down to one track, then filled it up again. So I used to take my 4-track and mix. I find it was a fantastic way to work, and it's just that's how it all started for me, and that's the one-man band thing. And so the word got around, and I started getting a lot of work. Lauren, who was Terry's secretary, she got a lot of calls about this guy Marty Rose. We want to book him. And then I got a call. They got a call from Peter Rowland. It was the launch of that furniture shop, Aerodorama. And it was quite funny because they put me in a corner, upright piano. I had my back to the crowd. And a guy called Rick Edgar, who works for Peter Rowland, told Peter Rowland, "It's this guy, Marty Rose. He's pretty good, So without even sight or sound, Peter Rowland booked me to do a huge party in Portsea, where I walked up and there's Harry the Hirer, Rick Jamison, setting up the marquee. But Rick Jamison's a multi-squillionaire now. He's worked very hard. He's got horses. He trains horses and stuff like that. Beautiful man. And that's how, we're all just starting, basically. But I walked in this amazing home, and they had the piano in the middle of a pool. And then that was it. It started. Then I did the Ritz for 3 years. It was a fantastic nightclub. And then Peter Ivanchuk, one of the owners, he left. They sold the business, and I went with him to the Tunnel.
You toured Australia and New Zealand with former Steely Dan and Doobie Brother member Jeff Baxter.
Jeff Skunk Baxter.
Jeff Skunk
Baxter.
Do you want to tell us how that came about?
Well, once again through Adrian Scott. We were working for Roland. We did clinics, and they just brought out the synthesizer guitar, that horrible thing that had the bow. Do you remember that
silver one?
Yeah, the ugly looking thing. And I hated it.
They sold about 10 of them.
Yeah,
or something?
But the concept was it basically was a keyboard for a guitar player, but nah. And anyway, so Jeff said he'll do the clinic as long as he can have a band, and he wants to play Doobie Brothers Steely Dan stuff, and I go, Jesus Christ. Anyway, when Jeff came to Australia, we had to rehearse in Sydney. We had Mark Kennedy on drums, Adrian Scott on keyboards and programming. We do because we didn't have a live bass guitar until I talked Jeff into doing Ricky Don't Lose That Number, and I played bass in it. Let me play bass in it. Jeff Baxter, IQ Ano, who came over from Japan with Roland. He was a great guitar player. And that was
What a great lineup.
Yeah. And Jeff knew I had a fear of flying, and he would tell me all the stories about the Doobies when they were flying, and because they had their own plane, but they had one of those DC-3s, you know, with the propellers, and he goes, sometimes the turbulence would get that bad that you could see the whole body of the plane moving. I'm going, shit, yeah, don't tell me that. And every time we'd land, he goes, we walked away from another one. So he just hugged shit on me. And he's a beautiful guy. He loved Lynn. He used to call Lynn his valley girl. We did Hey Hey. We did Hey Hey Saturday. It was a buzz going on that.
He did Reeling in the Years.
We played live. We played that live. And we did the Grain Store here in Melbourne. What a tremendous... I had friends come out and see the show. And I had the lovely lady, the singer.
Okay, you're talking about Vanetta Fields.
Okay.
Okay.
She came to the concert, and I used to love her because and she got up on stage and did harmonies with me. You know, and she goes, "You're a good boy." Well, I was singing, I go, "Thank you." And even Jeff complimented me on that. He goes, "A lot of people can't sing that song." He said, "You do a great job."
Speaking of icons, let's talk about Bert Newton.
I used to watch Graham Kennedy. I remember going on the Don Lane show. I met Bert back then and Don, and I got a call from whoever the production company was, and she goes, "Hi, Marty Rose, we'd like to have a meeting with you. Bert is doing a lunchtime show, and he wants you to be the piano man on the show." So, I went in, had a meeting with them, and I think he thought I was a bit more like musically inclined, because I think he wanted me to play piano for backing singers and things like that.
Like an arranger,
like John Foreman.
Foreman,
which in the end John did a great job with him. And so I said, love to. So, and part of the deal was that I have to go in every day, 5 days a week. And if I had to sing, I had to get there at 7:30 in the morning. So I'd finish playing at the tunnel at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then get up. And that's when they were building. When the Monash was still a car park.
Yeah.
So I'd have to leave home at 4 to get there by 6:37. Yeah.
And I mean, every singer wants to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and sing.
Well, sometimes I wouldn't even go to sleep. I'd just have a cup of coffee and go. Well, especially when I had to sing, because I felt that sometimes if you go to sleep and you get up in the morning, you're all groggy, you can't sing. So he realised there and then that I wasn't, because I had Joe Kindama on piano, the guy.
He's brilliant.
He's a brilliant guitar player. The band was awesome. Roger McLaughlin on bass, Virgil Nanati on drums. And the band was, and the brass section, and Ross Burton was the conductor. He's unfortunately passed away, tragically. And it was one of the best years of my life. And so the first time I went on, I did Piano Man with the harmonica. I put the harmonica on, and Bert shit-staring me. And I had Virgil Nanati on with just a snare drum, and Joe Candano plays piano accordion. Mark Dominy on guitar. He played acoustic guitar. And we did Piano Man acoustically, basically. And from that day, from then on, we got such a great reaction from the crowd and the public. So I used to go on about twice a week. I used to go on and sing twice a week. So with that, he says, "I believe your beautiful wife's here," and because we bought the house, we're going to the bank afterwards to save our lives away, to have a mortgage. And Lynn wouldn't come out, but Bridget came out, and he's holding Bridget. And this is beautiful. I've got it at home somewhere. And he's looking at Bridget. He goes, "Is she beautiful?" And she's so cute. And he goes to Bridget, "Do you like seeing Daddy on television?" And Bridget just goes, "Go, go, go, go." She goes, "Well, don't get used to it."
Do you ever walk down the street and someone says, "There's Paul McCartney"?
I've had some funny stories. I went to Perth 2 weeks ago. And I was just in the lounge waiting to get on, and You know, people, they take a second glance at you, and I'm thinking... So I walked into the plane, I got to my seat, and there was a guy sitting on... Because I want window seats. I fly now, but I still want my window seat. Yes, I knew it wasn't him. Because if it was him, he'd be sitting up the front of the plane.
That's right.
And I was in Chicago. I'm walking around. It was a Sunday. It was snowing. It was beautiful. I had a cap on, glasses, scarf. It was cold.
And a T-shirt that said, "I'm a former Beatle."
No. Well, I was going to walk into this beautiful department store. I was going to buy Lynn something, and this guy, he said he was begging for money, and he goes, "You're the guy from the Beatles. You're the guy from the Beatles." I said, "No, I'm not." He goes, "How's Ringo?" I said, "He's good. He's great. He's really good. He's really good." So I went inside, and then on the way out, I gave him $5.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's hilarious, you know.
You've got a new band together, the Marty Rose Band, MRB. So let's go through the lineup because there's some pretty spectacular musicians. And we've got former LIB man David Briggs,
Still
love the guy.
pinch myself.
Sorry, Professor David Briggs. Pip Joyce,
another
amazing guitarist with a fantastic
incredible.
history.
I love Pip. Yeah.
The bass player
Joe Imbrol.
I love Joe.
And Peter Fern.
Peter
Fern is the instigator. Finally, we got this band now where we all compatible, we're all respectful to each other, we all respect each other's talents, and we got some huge reviews. And some guy wrote this review about the Marty Rose Band, you know, and I said to David, "Oh, gee, Dave, did you see the review we got?" He goes, "Tell me about it." He goes, "You know who called me?" He goes, "I go, who? Greg McCanish." He said, Greg McCanish, Skyhooks. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "One of his friends went and saw the band and said you guys were amazing." I said, "Greg rang you up to tell you that." And then the following week we were playing Altana, and Greg McCanish came and saw the band.
Oh, how good's that?
Yeah, I bought him a Coke. I told him, "I love you, Greg." You know, Skyhooks for like, you know.
Well, mate, I got to tell you, I think we've gone through. We've done it.
Yeah, wow.
Marty Rose.
We're going to cling. Thank you
Cheers.
very much. Chat with Jack. Watch it. This guy is a beautiful guy, and thank you so much. I really appreciate you thinking that I was good enough to come in and have a chat with you.
It's good enough. You're a legend, mate. And it's,
thank you, Jack.
Thanks for coming on.
Jack's
we really appreciate it. And we're going to have you on to do a few songs for Live at Jack's Place.
Beautiful.
All right.
What after this?
But let's finish the bottle first.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.